Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Transylvania. Blah, 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 blah. I was like, Transylvania by Night. I'm like, no, that's the name of the book. Damn it, Kelly. Let's start over again. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade, the Transylvania Chronicles here on Dork Tales. I'm your storyteller, Kelly. I use he and him as my pronouns, and tonight we are bringing the blood. And not just any blood, we're bringing Chris Blood, which is, we've decided is what your name is from now on, Chris. But we've got a lot in store for you tonight. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and meet the cast, and then I'll give you a couple of special announcements, starting with Chris Blood.
Oh, hello. I am not used to starting on this one. I'm Chris. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns. You threw me off guard there, Kelly. And now I know what it feels like.
Yep.
I'm playing Rainald, the Sire Shanker.
Sire Shanker. Oh boy. All right. Back to Robin, who has not shanked her sire yet.
What's with the yet? I'm fine.
Yeah, Vikos is pretty cool. He's chill.
Right. But yes, I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns, and tonight I am playing Tereza Dinescu, our Zamisi Void, who uses she, her pronouns currently. It might change, but yeah, I am very, very excited to get back into game. I love these vampires. It's fun times, and we blah the blah.
Speaking of things that blah, blah, blah. Hey, Kal.
Hello. I try to keep my blurring to a minimum, as you've noticed. Hi, everyone. My name is Kal. I use he, him pronouns. So does Bastien, the salubri. Vampire in the gang, and they got some splaining to do.
Fantastic.
Or not.
Yeah, or not. Speaking of or not, it's Jen.
I was going to say, do I have some splaining to do? I mean,
yes.
Alëna tried.
But you're not going to.
Also true. Yes. Hi, I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns, as does Alëna, our lovely gang girlfriend, who totally doesn't now have several frenzy traits. The contacts weren't contacting tonight, so glasses, but she still does have the cat eyes. I just can't right now.
Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't.
Sometimes you can't. Contacts are weird.
So I'm gonna let me tell you, I'm exhausted today, and I put contacts in for this because I'm pretty sure that like it's the least I can do personally, because I wear contacts regularly, but man, I'd prefer to wear my glasses right now. So folks, we have a couple of big announcements for you that you need to hear about. I know you've already heard them, but I'm going to jump in and tell you that there is no place that you should be spending time right now except for Dork Tales and Bookwyrm Games. Go to Bookwyrm Games right now and buy some dice. There are a bunch of fantastic dice you can pick up right now, including D10 sets that are inspired by the World of Darkness in vibrant gemstone. That's right, actual gemstones, like the kind that you would get for a true love. You can now get your true love some dice, which is always nice. Definitely go check them out. Use code DorkTales to save 15%, and more than that, they're a small business. And by supporting them, you not only support a small business, but you support Dork Tales because they have helped us keep the lights on for the past year. They're a really cool group, and I'm very excited to be working with them on some ready-to-play adventures that we're going to be publishing later this year. And very excited to team up with them at any of the cons that we get to go out and meet up at. So go check out Bookwyrm Games. And if you didn't already know, if you make a purchase on Bookwyrm Games, it doesn't matter how big, how small, I will double any Twitch points that you spent. If you're on Twitch watching us live and you buy the cast some experience points and you've bought something at Bookwyrm Games that day, tell me. I'll keep you on the honor system, and I will give them 2 XP for every XP you buy, or I will give them 2 hurt them mores for every hurt them more you buy, etc. So I'll double all your purchases for that day. So let me know when you buy from them, and I'll make it worth my while. So thank you to Bookwyrm Games for sponsoring us. Also, be sure to go check out their fungal familiars right now. There's still some time to get in on that backer kit, and they are into stretch goals. They just unlocked another shiny today, if I'm not mistaken, the shiny ferret. I think it was the ferret that got upgraded today. So go check them out. Enamel pins are a fantastic gift for all sorts of people in your life. We're nerds, goths, geeks, and so on. You know at least 10 people in your life that like enamel pins. Go check them out. Yes, Robin.
Has it been a year? No,
It has been,
like
it has been a year.
When did we start? When did we start?
They started
getting sponsored
sponsoring
by
us in March.
Bookwyrm? Oh, we missed our year anniversary.
That's okay. They gave us gemstones.
That's true. It's very nice.
So, you know, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
No, I just was like, wow, time flies, man. I don't know what time is, but I was just like, I was shocked. I'm like, oh, it's been like a year.
It has been a year, which is why. I see that Michael from Dorktales, from Bookwyrm is watching the stream right now. We need to touch base next week sometime if you're available, because a lot of people have been like DMing me about Dorktales dice, and I think Dorktales D10 sets are something that would be really good for this. Get some Transylvania Chronicle ones, maybe.
Dorksylvania.
Dorksylvania. Oh, that's good. That's what we'll call them. Dorksylvania. The other thing that I really wanted to tell you is that, folks, there is no time like this weekend to come and try a ton of different games. Come and watch us play 14 different games in support of the Children's Miracle Network. Starting at Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, we are going to be running, I believe it's 5 games on Friday, 5 games on Saturday, and 4 games on Sunday to raise money for the BC Children's Hospital and Children's Miracle Network. It's a great cause. It's a lot of fun. We've got people from all over Dorktales and for other channels. Just naming a few, we've got Vahid from Dice Legends. We've got Sarah from Gen Con TV. We've got tons of people.
Game.
What's that?
Bunny Hearted is running a game.
Bunny Heart's running a game. You're running a game.
Neo Cal from Too Much Energon is running a game.
Yeah,
Jen is running a game. I'm running a game. Robin's running a game.
I'm now running a game.
Precarious.
Precarious is running a game, and we
should see for November if a certain dice company wants to join in on the fun.
I think it'd be
or
good.
run a game or join
Christine's
in on the
running
fun.
a game. So I'll give you a super quick rundown of what we're doing, and that is on Friday. I'll give you a little surprise taste test, and then during the break I'll tell you more. But Friday is starting off with a Powered by the Apocalypse session called Heck Divers, which is, surprise, surprise, ripping off Helldivers. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Then I'm running a perfectly normal Dungeons and Dragons game with no surprises at all. Following that, we have It's in a Barbie World, ran by our own Natasha Tuskovich, who's running a Barbie role-playing game. Then after that, Kal is running Sussy Bakas in Space, which is like Among Us, but weirder. And then we're wrapping up the night with Chicken Charlie, who you know from like several of our games, but also Chicken Charlie's own stuff is coming over to run Escape from Hell's Kitchen, a D&D epic about escaping from the Archdevil Gordon Ramsay. Or something like that. I don't know. They haven't told me. Anyway, that is what is in store. We also have tons of games on Saturday, including a Scion game and more. We've got Paranoia on Sunday, I think, or is it Saturday? We got Paranoia. And then we're ending it with Jen running Bird Crimes. Bird Crimes,
but noir.
Bird Crimes Noir. Did Vahid send you his
Yes.
his business card? Okay, good.
Yes, it is.
He made
amazing.
a business card for his character. It's so...
Wait, what?
It's
Step up my game, Holford. Jesus.
It's in the Discord. It's in the Discord channel. If you go look.
Yeah, go check it out.
Oh, I'm
All
gonna
right.
go look right now.
So also, this game, once we finish Act 1, I'm going to start putting this up on our podcast. So if you're a podcast listener, be sure to subscribe and listen to us wherever you get your podcasts. We do it through Podbean, but we're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and tons of other podcast platforms. So be sure to give us a like and a follow if you would, please, because I
Yeah.
like seeing those
I
numbers go
mean,
up.
you got to step up your game. I'm starting to catch up there with half the followers you have on Podbean and a 200% or 200,000%
200,000% increase.
over last year's downloads. It's comparing like 16,000.
Nice.
It's comparing 16,000 downloads to 9 downloads. So it's like
It's still good, though.
1,000%.
We broke
that's a
100,000
great growth.
downloads this year, and I'm excited about that.
Nice.
I feel like
but-
I feel like a fake. I've never checked too much energy.
It tells me when I log in to upload a new
Yeah.
episode, so it's
Exactly. Mine tells me so. Yeah.
That's fair.
but
yeah.
but still. And then the last thing is just that if you want to see more content, be sure to head over to Patreon, because we got a bunch of really cool stuff headed your way. We got more Destroyer of Worlds. We've got, which is the Alien game. There's just so many games, guys. I can't even. But I also want to say that if you want more World of Darkness content or Chronicles of Darkness content, keep hounding me, because we've got some games ending soon, and who knows what I could run. Because I did just take a look through even more vampire stuff today. Blah. All right. Anybody have any last minute questions, comments, or concerns before we begin?
A lot
right.
of concerns.
As you should. Then without further
Why would
ado,
you
It's something that causes
concerned,
concern.
Chris?
Mhm. Then without further ado, let's jump back into game. Hello and welcome to Transylvania Chronicles. Rainald left without so much as a goodbye to any of you except Alëna. It has been nearly 2 weeks since his departure. And it seems like two things happened when Rainald left. The first is that summer began to die upon the rocky precipice of the Tehuta Pass. Storm clouds began to roll in. The chill of autumn began to strike at your farmer workers a bit early. You heard no end of muttering about how they would not be able to stay long and work on the tower. It was harvest. And if they wanted to survive the winter, no amount of coin would keep them in food compared to what they could pull from their fields, their turnips, their onions, and others needed to be harvested. And with that, a slowdown occurred. For the past 2 weeks, you have seen Zelios in a bit of a tiff. He is moody, and when you do see him at all, you can see that the quiet genius occasionally is swept up with bouts of trembling, rage. Now, during these weeks, several things happen. The first, Tereza, you said that you would send a summons. Would you be calling the man to visit his daughter, or would you be going to visit him? Do you go to him, or does the Vavode summon?
Ooh, she probably summons. Yeah, that's more of a power move there.
So we begin with you.
Well, no, actually, she's not. She will go. She doesn't want to lead. necessarily any suspicions for some reason.
Okay. So we cut back again. Are you taking anyone with you besides Dominic?
No. She will go by herself.
Then we find ourselves inside of the home of the Burgenmeister of Kiosa. Moram. He is surprised to see you, but brings you in. My lady, I was not expecting to see you this in the evening, the huge man says. Please, have a seat at my table. May I get you... His eyes are downward cast, deferential. Can I get a perception and empathy roll?
What is my difficulty?
Difficulty on this is going to be 6. And I have 1 success.
I have 3.
There are pinpricks of anger at the center of his eyes, but you can see that his eyes are ringed with worry and bags. He has not been sleeping well since you took his daughter some 2 weeks ago. He is furious with you, but also afraid of you. And his tone is deferential, as is his body language. He bows deeply. I have some red wine that I have imported from the east. If it would be fitting, I also have harsher spirits and beer.
Red wine will do.
It is the best vintage that is easily procurable by even the wealthiest. I think you will find it to your liking.
We will see.
He pulls out a thin-necked bottle. It is... Can you make me an intelligence and seneschal? Do you have any seneschal?
Use your sommelier specialty.
Yeah.
In
I
seneschal,
wish.
you could have that, but...
I don't, because Clara has it. I didn't take points in seneschal.
Did you
I had
bring
2 points.
Clara with you? Or did you leave her back at the camp?
I think I probably would have left her back at the camp.
Sounds good. Then, in that case, it looks like a fancy bottle of wine. It has writing on it that you don't quite recognize. It's wine that looks like it's gone through maybe Constantinople. But beyond that, you're unsure. Maybe it could even be Greek, for all you know. He pours you a glass. The smell is robust and utterly distasteful. You would rather drink pig's swill than touch mortal wine. And in fact, even fake downing it, you would have to spend blood.
She's going to reach for the glass, and she's going to, pretend to analyze it.
How is Alëna? Is she taking well to your, tutelage?
Yes. She is A bright girl with a bright future ahead of her. She's learning much. How is your wife? I know your family was sick.
She is
How is
doing
she?
well. The midwife says that the baby will be coming in before winter.
Is she sleeping right now?
No. She's probably doing some type of chore upstairs, probably knitting. There are never enough blankets on this side of the pass. Probably
course.
knitting some stockings or baby blanket. That reminds me. Will you excuse me for just a moment?
Of course.
He rises and heads up to the second floor of the house, one of the few buildings in this town that actually has a second floor. You hear his heavy footsteps announcing his departure. You know that you won't be surprised when he returns. What do you do?
Tereza is going to... She's going to quickly, with her fangs, open up the meaty part of her palm. And she's going to drip a few drops of blood into his wine glass when he's gone.
Sounds good. And you have the merit. What's
Sweet
the specific?
blood.
Sweet blood. That's right. I knew what it did. I couldn't remember the actual name of it.
Your vitae tastes like the finest wine, sweet and heady without the slightest trace of salts or metallic tang. As such, you may hide your blood in a chalice or feed ghouls without betraying the nature of their contents.
So, one thing for you to know, because you're new to Vampire the Masquerade. To establish a blood bond, you have to feed blood on 3 separate occasions. Basically, the first gives them kind of dreams and maybe even a slight crush on you. They start finding themselves hanging out at places where you might be, or it's more unconscious than anything. It doesn't really override their will. At the second, they are in love with you. They are becoming obsessed with you. The same way that someone would be in a new relationship or after being love bombed. They're hooked. And then on the third drink, they are completely devoted to you, sometimes in a terrifying way. Too much. There are stories of ghouls hammering stakes into the hearts of their beloved masters so that they can squirrel them away in safer places than their own bedchambers. These are only stories, you hope. But it has led a number of voivode to move their hearts around.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, you can put your heart in your butt for all I care.
Nice.
So,
Butt heart.
a few moments later, you will hear the hard footsteps of the man returning. In his hand is a bundle. My wife and I wanted, if it would be possible, for you to take these back to Alëna. This is some fresh winter clothes to keep her warm. And it is I know it is a pittance, and that a lady such as yourself might be even insulted by such an offer. But this is for you. And he will hold out an incredibly finely knitted shawl. We wanted to give you something as a gift of your hospitality. to Alëna. And as an apology for my boorish behavior. I am not accustomed to speaking with those of power like yourself. I forget myself.
Well, let us share a drink, and
Yes.
let the slate be wiped clean.
Do you need any food or anything from your trip? We have goulash.
I am
that-
fine. I am fine. I appreciate your hospitality, but as you said, I am a lady of great power and resources.
Yes, of course.
I have
Forgive me.
feasted before I arrived.
Does your man require a drink? He gestures to Dominic.
No, he's on duty.
Well then. Spritz.
Spreads you.
Oh, this is even better than the merchant said. He will down the entire glass. Ah. Funds. We have more tithe to provide to you.
Even better.
What else are you planning? He provides you with the funds, the taxes, that they send up on a bi-weekly basis anyway.
Well, with knowing that it takes a three. Does it have to be? I should have done better research on this, and I'm sorry. Does it have to be like a specific time, like between
3 nights.
3 nights? Okay.
Minimum 3 nights, basically.
Yeah. So I think Tereza will kind
Do
of
you-
bid him
do you want-
adieu.
Do you want a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Why not ask that he deliver the funds in 2 weeks again, so that he can see his daughter in person, or something like that?
Yeah. I was gonna suggest that as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Easy ways to manipulate the situation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So he will toast you, and you will be back on your way, a jangling case, a jangling coffer in the wagon, as Dominic drives the horse up the mountainside. As you are alone in the darkness, nothing but the sound of the wagon and the horses pulling against the slope. He turns back to you and speaks to you in your native tongue. Mother, do you still have plans to... He seemed quite contrite.
Of course. I have use for him, and I'm going to use him. I'll make
Of
sure
course.
that the wife and the baby are set up for life. They will not suffer. But She looks at her wrinkled hands, and she briefly, like, will spend a point of blood and try and smooth out the wrinkles.
You are able to do so. You are even able to feel the follicles and capillaries and be able to pull, just for a moment, a bit of a rosy blush to the surface before the blood repools back into gray, dead flesh. Are you all right?
Yes. He will... He'll help protect us, Dominic. No one gets to call me old.
Of course not. You are still radiant as the dawn, Mother.
Thank you, my child. You are quite a young man. I've wanted to ever since you almost left me. I've been resisting the urge to keep you closer and put you in a protective case. Much like when I held you to my breast as a baby and fed you. It has made me a bit soft, a bit weak. And I think that man, pointing out a flaw and a weakness, has shown to me that I need to harden myself.
I understand.
But I will not.
I worry, though.
Hmm?
He glances down at your hand as the skin wrinkles. I worry that you may make Clara jealous.
Whatever do you mean?
Oh, nothing, Mother. Nothing at all.
Be careful, Dominic. I am your mother. I'm also your lady. And I will punish those as I see fit.
Yes, my lady. Forgive me for speaking candidly. I thought it was just the two of us, so it would be so rare that we are able to...
I was joking, my boy. We are alone. You may speak freely.
I was worried that I offended you. I'm sorry.
It is all right. And she will grab his hand, the closest one from the reins. Oh, good. You are my precious boy.
And you are my beautiful, loving mother. He squeezes Tereza's hand. And as he does, we hear the call of crows and follow them up the mountainside, back up the Tehuta Pass. We followed them through the woods, along with the snorting and foraging of 5 thick pot-bellied piglets. And then there is a scream. A horrid, horrid scream, like a woman being scalded with boiling water, but it's not. It's a fat rabbit bludgeoned against a tree. There is a spray of blood as it tries to crawl away on broken legs, only for another impact as a small piglet, roughly the size of a sporting ball, slams into it, plunging baby little tusks, barely formed, into its flesh. There's a crunch of bone, and the rabbit lets out a scream, and then, with a little hoof, is silenced. Alëna, one of your piglets trots up to you at your shrine, holding a rabbit carcass from its mouth.
Scritch, scritch. Good. Well done.
If you think that it could look any more pleased, well, let's just say that it can't. What have you been doing the last couple of weeks? Monitoring your pack, of course, and training your piglets.
Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty much it, really. Like, she doesn't have a lot of, like, this ambition to power because she's, Alëna. Uh, so she's trying to not interact with a lot of the people who are around.
Mm-hmm.
And she's tending to her shrine and maybe and hunting, of course, and maybe just spending more time in the woods and whatnot in the wild.
Can I get you to do me a favor? I want you to make me a perception and empathy roll.
Cool. So that's perception. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Difficulty?
Difficulty of 6.
3.
No shit.
All 3 dice for successes.
You rarely make your way up to where the tower is, aside to check in on Tereza or Bastien. But the last few nights, hell, the last few weeks, you've noticed a progressive sentiment there amidst the workmen. You've noticed it. The women cross themselves when you approach. The men give you a wide berth. And you can hear them muttering in a language of the common people that you understand, but the hush whispers make it a bit difficult. Would you have tried to listen in on them?
Maybe not at first, but if it becomes more prevalent, then yes.
Okay. So tonight, after you finish this, you're due to do another check-in on Bastien to make sure he's not getting up to too much mischief. And as you head your way back toward the ruins, you will see a similar sight. A couple of the men see you approach as they are having a good-natured talk near some of the masonry tools. But as you approach, the laughter will immediately die. They will mutter to each other. Make me a perception and alertness roll to try to hear what they say.
I'm not in the woods, so I don't think it'll apply, but I do have a wilderness specialty of just like...
Okay.
But I think
That won't
it's
apply
two.
if you're coming up to them.
That's what I thought. Difficulty on that?
Difficulty on this is going to be 7.
Take 2 of my successes away from me. That's 2 successes.
You will hear one of them turn to the other. The monster's coming. Make haste. Let's get the fuck out of here. And as they are heading away, giving you a wide berth, backing away from you like people do to rabid dogs. With their eyes on you, backing up, one of them nearly stumbling over an inset stone in the road. You hear them say something else as they head back toward the work camp. One word. Priest. Specifically, Jesuit. You don't know how they found out, but apparently your murder of the Jesuit did not go unnoticed.
Fair enough.
Over by the old ruins, you can see Sherazina looking around and ordering around some of the lessers like Cece or Rosalia, getting them to do chores around the camp. As she sees you approaching, she straightens herself up, brushes off her apron. Alëna.
Yes.
Might I have a word with you?
Very well.
Thank you. I have heard disturbing rumors circulating among the farm workers. They are saying that you are a monster. They are saying that you devoured the heart of a priest.
I am a monster, but that priest was tainted. I would no more eat his heart than I would enter a chapel.
There are many rumors circulating. One says that you killed a Jesuit and Brother Rainald? Father Rainald? And that nun, the one who came to camp, looking for Rainald, his, maker. One of the camp whores saw her. Said that she was, as beautiful as the dawn. A little ironic, but you get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Many of them are threatening to leave if you don't leave.
Rainald is fine. He is simply on business. But what?
I know that you would do nothing to Rainald, that he is an ally. These are villagers. They're stupid and superstitious. Have you noticed the bundles of wild rose that have been hanged everywhere? And sure enough, on the edge of the tower is a bundle of wild rose, as well as clusters of garlic.
Cute.
You see Bastien helping put the garlic up in the bundles of rose. Gotta keep the
Yes.
monsters out.
And as we pan over to Bastien doing that, you're going to pan down a little, and there's like a 6-year-old girl standing on a rock doing it too. Keep the monsters out.
Wherever they are.
You would know, wouldn't you, my angel?
Yeah. Yes. I'll keep an eye out for them.
You should keep 3 eyes out.
Ooh, even better. And with your eyes, that's 5.
Where am I going to get my extra eye?
Oh, it's one of those things you'll understand when you're older.
Okay. I can't wait. I hope it's as pretty as yours.
And make sure that you don't mention it around anyone except your Auntie Tereza and Alëna. The others don't know that I'm an angel, so
Mm-hmm. It's better surprise then.
exactly.
And she'll give your hand a squeeze as you hang more garlic. Back with Alëna some 30 feet away. If you want, I can give you the name of the foreman who's spreading these stories. He seems to be sweet on me. He's tried a few times to get into my skirt. I can also give you the name of the whore he goes to when I turn him down.
Sure, give me his name.
It is the one with the big bushy beard. The one who smells like all of that fucking garlic. Serban. And, she is Ia. The one with the auburn hair. The muddy auburn. Maybe you'll have some luck. If not, if you'd like, I could try to fix it for you. But
No, it does not need fixing.
understood.
Thank you. I must speak
I would-
with Bastien.
Alëna? Yasha Razina? Let's go play over here for a while. Let them talk. Let the lords talk. Mm-hmm. And Sherazina will go and take Yolina by the hand and just wander off to show her how to do, I guess, womanly chores or something like that to distract her.
It's probably 1,000 things.
Is Sherazina literate?
Sherazina is literate.
All right, then.
She learned how to read before I did.
Well, she'll probably have her teaching her like the alphabet and writing and things like that. Tereza wants her to be a learned woman.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh, given her parents. Okay, it makes sense. Yeah. She's
She
like
would
the-
be illiterate. Yolina isn't.
Yeah. So Tereza's wanting to teach Alëna.
And real quick, out of
Letters.
character, just for emphasis, because when I named Yolina, I didn't expect her to be as prevalent. So we're going with Yolina rather than Yolena from now on to prevent confusion with Alëna.
Oh,
So
I
is
did.
Yolina-
You know what? I never even confused the two, but yeah, the hard L. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's Yolina now.
Lena. Oh, Lena.
Or
Yeah,
just
okay.
or just Lena if you want to lean
Lena.
into that as she grows
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
So there
Okay.
you
There
go.
we go.
So,
Putting up decorations.
Oh, yeah, the others. Sometimes they throw me coins like I'm a beggar. So I'm in this odd position where those of us serving directly under Lady Tereza call me Lord, which makes me feel more than awkward. But then all of the workers think I'm like a priest or a beggar. Anyways, they gave me this task, and I was like, oh well, if it keeps out the monsters.
They're hoping it keeps me out.
What? Why would they do that?
I am the monster who haunts their dreams.
You can't enter dream. Wait, can you?
Not on purpose.
Can you do it by accident?
I don't
That's
know.
pretty cool.
Would you like me to try?
Yes. Have you... Others have said that we do not dream, but I dream often. You dream when you fall... Well, whatever it is you do when you... before you erupt from the ground in the mornings.
I die, but
In your
not sure about
What?
you.
You die in your dreams?
You die when dawn breaks. We are not creatures of light.
Oh. I have dreams of planting crops with my mother, and sometimes I have dreams of things that haven't happened yet. But they're almost like I'm dreaming of the way things could have happened, and I'm never right.
Well, perhaps you are touched by gods.
as she
Right?
says that, Bastien, last night you did have a dream. You saw a lion with flaming eyes and flaming hair pulling a dragon in an ornate palanquin that seemed to float off the ground. There was a tall black tower built out of bones and blood, and you were standing at it. You know that it was you and your friends were there. And the dragon reached out and plucked the moon from the sky. But when it plucked the moon, it plucked it, just its silhouette. A very sharp ring. And as the dragon plucked the moon from the sky, it pulled it down and snapped it in its claws, and offered you a piece of it. You woke up before you are sure if you accepted, but it felt so real. You could feel the heat off of the lion's mane. You could feel the venom dripping off the dragon's fangs. You could feel the weight of the moon. But that was a dream. Probably means nothing.
And after, I'm going to, a kind of in a Bastien way, convey that dream to Alëna.
I have never dreamt like that.
Have you ever had dreams of running through the forest?
No, I just do it.
Before I met all of you, I kept having a dream of a wolf, and I tried to chase them through the forest. And I stopped having those dreams when I met you and the others. I could never catch up. Like when you have those dreams that you know you can run faster, but for some reason you're slowed. Maybe there was a hunter, but I couldn't remember if he was aiming an arrow at you or at me, or if the hunter was someone we haven't met or that we have. Maybe it's Rainald.
Maybe it is.
But it's never fired. I always wake up, and I haven't had that dream since we arrived here.
I don't know what that means.
Well, I thought because you were, the spooky monster woods woman, that maybe you would have some insight to those dreams.
Sadly, no. But I did want to tell you, with Rainald traveling and Tereza somewhere, I might be a little more absent for a little bit. Not gone. I will still be nearby. We're just not obviously here.
I don't understand, but I'll accept. Is it like you're hiding? Someone coming?
No, I do not hide, but the workers are threatening to, well, saying they will leave unless the monster, me, is gone. So
Do
I
they
have
not
an idea.
know that most of the luxury of most of their stews come from your efforts? No, I suppose we wouldn't let
I
them
do
know
not think
that.
they are smart enough to make the connection.
Well, I could have words with them. I was chosen by my, I don't know if sire is the correct word, by Adrojai, because I had a way with people.
I know the instigator. I plan to have words with him myself.
Do you want me to be there? Because words with people is code for... Is that code for not words and claws instead?
I have no plans to kill him.
Okay, well. If you don't need me there, then
Your words would help with the others, the ones who are actually scared.
I'll go and make jest of their superstitions.
Yes. But you may not see me for a couple of days while I sort this out.
Well, I might still be able to see you, but I know what you mean. You'll be distant.
I'll be distant, yes.
It'll just be poor Bastien all alone. With all of the
You have the
servants
little
here
one.
in the tower.
You have the child.
That is true. Rosalia as well.
You're not alone.
Somehow I've ended up being the one some of them have turned to listen to the... What happened to all the monks in Rainald? Why are people trying to confess to me? There were like 3, and now there's like none. Oh, out of character, did
Yes.
did Rainald's brothers in Christ go with him?
Yes. They
Oh,
did.
fuck, it really is me.
It is you. You are the resident priest
You're
there,
the priest
buddy.
now.
You've been promoted.
Hey, you got ordained.
No one else being here, and it's just me? All right. Time to throw a party while the parents are out. Alëna, it's just us.
Tereza's somewhere. She's not gone.
She's like 2 days
gone.
away. Quick.
Tereza's there. She has to take care of her ward and plot what she's going to do with her father. It's fine.
All right. So,
Alëna will leave, and I'll tell you what she's planning to do for over the next few days if you want, because I don't need a scene. I just need this to
Sure.
happen.
tell me what it is.
I am going to use Protean 4 to turn into a wolf, and then I and the 5 little boars are going to find out where that bastard sleeps and shit in his bed.
Oh my god,
Done.
amazing. Jen, fantastic.
Okay. I want you to. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
This
let
is why
you.
I said things would be fine.
I want you to give me a. Well, you can't really shit in his bed, but the pigs can because you don't have shit.
I will
Not with
find
that
shit
attitude.
and bring it.
Okay, cool. You'll bring wolf shit. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I
I want him to be confused.
If
You
you
can definitely-
communicate, Tereza can
definitely
also
piss
call
blood.
some wolves to you and talk to
That's
the
fine.
wolves as well.
Okay, so I want you to go ahead and make you can piss blood all over his stuff. At least you can do that.
Also true. Yeah.
But let's say that's going to be a wits and intimidation roll at a difficulty. I'm going to give it to you at a difficulty of 5 because no one expects wolf shit and pig shit in the same place. Not unless there's a bunch of blown over houses nearby.
Fair. That is 4 successes.
Okay.
I also want to spend a bit of time, like when I'm figuring out where he sleeps and like following him,
Mhm.
glowing eyes like from the bushes.
With that, it is... Okay, so that's what's happening over the next couple of days.
This poor
Tereza,
dude.
you are going to come back. And about 3 more days will pass, 4 more days. And you will be approached at the beginning of your night by Clara. As you awaken inside of the tomb, you can hear the sound of her pacing outside.
You're going to wear out your shoes with that pacing.
Lady, we have a problem.
What is the matter?
Half of the workmen have left. One of the foremen drove them away. I do not think that we can finish this by winter. And as she says that to you, you and anyone you tell will realize that your unlives may hang in the balance here. But we're going to cut elsewhere as she tells you that. For distantly, a few days before Clara gives you that news, we cut to a town. The town, well, outside of Klausenberg. It has taken a few weeks for Rainald and his retinue to make their way back toward the bowels of Europe. As best as he can tell, the nearest La Sombra are to the west. The prospect of dodging Mitru's advances are definitely going to be weighing heavily on you. You try to avoid the forest or travel during day, with yourself sleeping and your men driving the wagon whenever possible. However, it is serendipitous timing. For as you are making your way through the edge of the woods, bypassing the area, but getting so close to the road where you may have met your end by Mitru's advances, an ornate wagon and foot soldiers is headed your direction. The road is not large enough for both of your wagons to pass easily. What do you do? Or what do you have Carl and Felix do?
Pull over. You back up. Just try and let this wagon go. Try not to get too much attention.
Of course, Master. Can you make me a perception and alertness roll, please?
Sweetly. 1.
1. You will recognize the standard on the side of the wagon, the colors. This is a friendly face headed your direction. For soon enough, the wagon will pull alongside, and you will hear a voice from inside that is familiar to you say, "Halt a moment." And the curtain of the wagon will push aside, and you will see the smiling face of Micah Vikos. "I recognize you. You are one of the men of Father Rainald, are you not?" he says to Felix, who is driving the wagon. "Yes, I am, my lord." "Is your master with you? Or do you do an errand on his behalf?"
I will say, my lord, I am here.
Ah, excellent. "Rainald! My friend." Micah leans forward out of his carriage. "I was just on my way to pass over the Tehuta Pass, to return to Constantinople. How fortuitous that we have met. How has travel fared for you?
Quite good, for now. We have thankfully not had too much trouble. And yourself?
Very well. I have made good progress on my studies. I have met with a few old acquaintances. It has been a very busy season for me. My friend, I noticed that you are headed back away from the pass. Away from your duty.
Unfortunately, another duty calls me. There's a clan business that must be attended to.
I see.
Though I do hope it will be over quickly and I can return to finish the work.
And what does the most pious Illuminata have to say about this? Your sire?
Oh, I think would be rather speechless. I'm hoping to return before,
Make me a manipulation and subterfuge roll on that one, please.
All right. I'm gonna claim confidence on that.
Okay, cool. Holy shit.
Ooh, that'll be 4.
Cool, I rolled 7.
Go, my sire!
Micah is going to look at you for a moment, and his thin eyebrow is going to raise. And clan business is a tricky thing. As one of the Zamisi, I understand that the bonds of blood are very, very taxing. My friend, I do worry for your safety, though. Klausenberg is more than a night's journey away. With the difficulties you had with Mitru before, I worry that you might be risking the remainder of your centuries, should you continue this travel. I have an idea. There's a clearing not too far behind me. I can turn my wagon around and we can camp together. Share some stories, catch up. You'll have the protection of my men tonight, and in the morning or in the evening tomorrow, we can depart each other.
You are indeed most gracious.
I would have had to rest shortly anyway, but I would love the chance to catch up with you. Find out anything that I may need to know about my child. How she has been doing. And how your progress has been.
When I left, the progress was slow but steady. And Lady Tereza has been doing quite well. She is a natural leader. I expect that she will soon be a great power in the area.
She comes from a very noble stock. There is steel inside of her.
She's quite formidable, and I intend to be benefiting from a positive relationship with her in the future.
I would hope so. I would hate for you to come to any type of disagreement. To have the stakes come out would be very, very unfortunate. But, please, let's go back to the clearing and talk.
Yeah.
Do you do so?
Oh, I don't think I can refuse.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? So you are enjoying a nice night. For the first time in quite a while, you are able to get a decent meal. Micah Vikos doesn't travel without a bit of supply. A number of his guards are able to be fed off of, and if not, he does have a small herd that he travels with. Both men and women, if you have any particular tastes. And to be honest, after the travel you've had, where you've been mostly feeding off of those who you came across or who were captured by Felix or Carl, it might be a nice change. But do you accept his hospitality?
Oh, I would not insult him by not accepting his hospitality. It's a very important thing.
And can I ask you a quick question?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what your current willpower points are?
8.
Nice. Okay. You have a lovely night sitting around the fire and chatting. He's a very learned man. He talks about his time and travels throughout the East. Briefly about his embrace, but he's very interested in any type of study that you're working on. He's very well read and is able to speak quite well about Bible verses and, well, just about anything. He's a pleasant conversationalist. And he keeps turning the questions toward you as well, to get you to let yourself a little bit, to let your hair down a bit, so to speak. So your family made wine.
Yes.
Was there a particular vintage that you were most fond of?
To be honest, I never drank too much of it. I was oblated.
I see. Except for the blood of Christ, of course.
Yes. Yes. It's been quite fascinating. The trip and working with Zelios. He's quite an intelligent man. I don't know if you've seen any of his architecture, but...
I have. His reputation is striking.
The man is a genius.
He is. He's designed the fortress at Belgrade. And it was quite lovely. Almost impenetrable. Beautiful library. If you ever have the chance to go to Belgrade, I strongly encourage it. I'm sad to hear, though, that you've left the project so early. I imagine that my child and the others could have used you there.
Oh, I do intend to return and finish the job. This is just a quick little jaunt for now.
It is none of my business, so I won't answer more, or I won't ask more, but I do wonder what clan business is worth your unlife. And as he says that, you feel that question bore into your mind. And you think the answer to the question, why did you leave the pass? The thought comes directly to your head. This thought is not your own. You can make me an intelligence and awareness roll. Difficulty of 8.
1.
He smiles at you, and that's enough to know with one success. He smiles, and it's a casual question, but you feel a secondary voice inside of your head, and it pulls the answers from you.
And I'm aware of this?
You, with one success, you are? Yes.
Okay.
It starts at willpower 4 and above. You start to become aware of it. Then again, the La Sombra do have different customs than the Zamisi. I would hate to intrude. Perhaps, though, it would be best to send an envoy. Your men here seem quite capable. I could take you and whatever luggage you have back to the pass. I'm sure there's plenty of places inside of that keep to store your things until this all blows over. I would be happy to represent you, should the project be finished by winter. In place, since your sire will likely be busy with this matter. I never did see eye to eye with her. I hope that you and I can have a better relationship.
Well, since you obviously already plucked the answers out of my mind, and
I needn't.
I'm alive.
You are.
Still, I think that's already a positive note for me.
Can I offer you one piece of advice, Rainald, unsolicited? When you attempt something like this, you would do well to wash the perfumes and oils off of the corpse you're transporting. I could smell it when I pulled up. The Santa had a very particular fragrance that she wore. If you had passed through Radu's domain, or our patrons, I doubt you would have been making it back to the pass.
I do hope that in the future that I could learn a lot from you, and that it would be a mutually beneficial relationship.
I would hope so.
Not... I shouldn't speak ill of my elders, but not like the one I have with my own son. I will take your advice to heart and follow through with it.
Excellent.
Your patronage is, well, yet again, I believe I am in your debt.
Perhaps when we reach the pass, we will make it official. It's so much better to have something simple on the table than speculation. Wouldn't you say?
course.
Well, I can't wait. We have so much to talk about on our little road trip.
I can see where Lady Tereza gets it from.
Oh, no. She brought all of that herself. And on that note, I think this is where we're going to take a quick break. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the part of the program where we're going to briefly talk to the chat. We were talking off screen. So just to give everybody an idea of the way this works, Transylvania Chronicles takes place over 800 years. So, like, there's a bit of jumping around that has to happen, unfortunately, because like as it's really hard too, because I would love to stay in this era forever with these characters until they all die at the hands of a werewolf, probably knowing them. But I really do like running this game has reminded me that I actually really do like Vampire, at least revised, like or V20, and that's nothing against V5. I think that just I don't like where the meta plot went, and I think that it lost some steam for me in it. And if you have the right cast, man. Like, you guys are great. You guys, I'm having a lot of fun with this. But we are nearing the end of Act 1 of, what, 16 acts? I think this thing has, like, yeah, like, it's like episode 8 of probably 64 or something like that. Like, we'll be here a while. Or 100.
That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy.
I've never seen...
No,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, like, it's... You know how people are like, oh, I have this idea for a character. And then, like, 15 years later, oh, yeah, I had that idea for a character. I've never had a chance to do, like, a 1,000-year, 800-year, like, vampire, like, chronicle. So
it's a wild time, right?
And
I actually... I've been looking at some of the other modules that exist as well. Like I looked at the Giovanni Chronicles again, which I think it's kind of mixed. Like it's got some cool stuff in it, but it's also kind of like, meh. And then there's the Venture Chronicle. But there's also like I've ran some of the other ones for tables before. Like I've ran Lair of the Hidden. If anybody knows what that is, it is one of my favorite modules, and it was actually I think it's the first actual module or pre-written adventure that I ever ran. And the premise of it, Jen, were you in that game? You were, right? Oh no, it was my ex and my ex roommate. It was just the two of them in that game. And which was really funny because any other time those two would have just killed each other. But in that game, it was flawless. The idea is that you get sent to a castle in the Carpathians where there are like about a dozen elders that have been secreted away in this castle that no one can see. And they've been there for like, like 500 years doing nothing. And you have to figure out why they're there and why they hate each other. And what's really going on. It's such a cool plot. I don't want to spoil anything of it, but it would be really cool to run that, particularly as a LARP. I feel like I look at some of these things and I think about how they would function as like a parlor LARP or as an event LARP. And I'm like,
Almost seems like it would be better as a yeah.
Where it's like you give like you're like, all right, and you're the butler, you know?
Like that's why normies are attracted to murder mystery box sets, right? It's hilarious. Like you'll have people be like, oh, D&D's like for nerds. Anyways, my fantasy football game friends and I are, and same thing. Those
Does
same
Travis
normies
Kelce
will do
have Fireball or like Action Surge? Like, what does he get? Because his girlfriend's a bard.
Kelly.
Oh, definitely.
What?
I want to run a parlor LARP for my birthday.
You're in the Okanagan, and all of your players are like back. Jen has also been talking to me because you should come out. We got to fly you out for Deadpool 3. But I looked at tickets. It's not that bad. But Jen was talking to me about wanting to play Blood on the Clock Tower in real space, and I actually have a copy of it. It's in my closet.
I want to do it.
Because I
run it.
So it's kind of like Werewolf.
It's so social deduction games. So there's like One Night Ultimate Werewolf, where there's some evil players who are secretive. There's a bunch of good players who are trying to seek out the evil players. The evil players get to kill the good players, and then eventually one side wins.
I'm sold.
It's that, but complicated and LARP.
Yeah.
I'm basically doing that in Extra Life, but like a funny like Futurama version.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking that would be great. And also it's really cool to be of the age where we could probably afford to rent a place to do it rather than just like running it as part of like a university club like we used to when we were younger, right? So like being able to like rent like a hall or something or run it in, or it just would be really cool. Get an Airbnb in the mountains, something like that. Like that would be a really cool thing for like 20 friends.
Especially when you divide the cost, it turns really reasonable when everyone's chipping in like $25, right?
Exactly, and that's the cost of like a movie.
Yeah,
you know, like a movie and like the last time I went to the movies, popcorn and a drink was like $25 Canadian.
Nope, never. I'm smuggling in my own.
I need the
stash. Forever.
I need the corn. I need the corn, man. I need the corn.
I'm smuggling it in. I'll smuggle the corn in for you.
I need their corn. I'm a corn simp.
It's so good.
Just smuggle in a whole like home popcorn maker.
Look, movie theater popcorn is my favorite food. It is my favorite food.
I know. I love it.
Hey Kelly, you want me to make you feel bad? Remember when we used to get it for free?
Shut up. We used to get coffee.
You couldn't even
and
eat
popcorn
it fast
for
enough.
free.
What?
Well, we used to work for a student union that had a movie theater in it, and we get free popcorn on shift.
What?
Free popcorn, free coffee.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
better than the pay.
It was one of the reasons that I actually, I drank so much of that coffee. That coffee is the reason that I got re-diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, because I was using it. I was drinking like 4 or 5 cups a night to self-medicate without realizing it.
And you were working night.
I was working 9 to 5 in the morning. I was working late, going on dates. It was a lot of fun.
Speaking of working late, let's
I have 30 seconds left.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tell everybody. That's what I was going to do. I was going to read off all of the games that we have this weekend during our break. So folks, I already told a bunch of people during the World Building Wednesday, but here are the games that are coming this weekend. On Friday, on Extra Life, you can join us, of course, for Heck Divers, Totally Normal D&D, In a Barbie World, Sussy Bakas in Space, and Escape Hell's Kitchen. Then on Saturday is Scion, The Crowned, which is its own brand new system that was designed by Sarah from Sarah from Gen Con TV. She's coming over to run it with her writing partner. It's going to be great. Then Brindlewood Bay, ran by Kel. Wild Sheep Chase, that legendary adventure, is going to be ran by Christine. And then our friend Alante from Our Storied Insights is going to be running Bites Out, which I don't know what system that is, but it's going to be pretty fun. I'm in that, and I'm playing a youth pastor, and it's going to be great. Then Sunday morning, Precarious is going to run Kobolds, which I don't know. It's got kobolds, guys.
I've heard a bit about it, and it sounds fantastic.
Does it sound
exactly
fantastic?
what you think it is.
Yeah.
Then after that, Michael, our graphic dude, is going to be running Perfect Paranoia, which is the Paranoia game, the new edition. And then after that, Robin is going to be running Storming X, an Elon Tusk story, which is a D&D game about taking down Elon Tusk. And then Jen is running Strange Burbs on a Train, which is Bird Crimes.
Bird Crimes, but noir.
Bird Crimes Noir.
We need to put a filter on for that game at the end, so we're all in black and white.
Do you want me to put a noir filter on everybody?
Yes.
No, I don't know because of reasons, but
Okay. You think about it. Let me know what you need from me, because I'm just running tech for that game, so. Oh, I miss Kobolds Ate My Baby. That's been quite a while since I've heard of that game.
Oh, it's been a hot, like, half decade since I've even heard of that.
Hot half decade. You know what else is a hot half decade? The decade you're about to spend in the Transylvania Chronicles. Let's head back in right about now. Welcome back to the Transylvania Chronicles, here on Dork Tales. The Tehuta Pass begins to get cold as September rolls in. Work slows. Many of the workers have left. Others are complaining about a lack of pay to make up for the crop work that they must do. The building has come to a standstill. And as the three of you gather to discuss what is to be done, you hear the jingle of harnesses. And nearby, several horses and a covered wagon come into view on one of the switchbacks leading up to the top of the pass. There are several men-at-arms flanking it. A retinue of guards. And anyone with sharp vision, particularly the Tereza, will immediately recognize the carriage of Micah Vikos. Do you go to greet your visitors as they arrive?
Oh, of course. Tereza will instruct any hand that's nearby to tidy up whatever work is being done and make the tower as presentable as possible, and then Tereza will go out and greet Micah.
Alëna has been spending all of the time since the incident as a wolf. So
Okay. So you will see this approaching. You might even come across it on the trail as it is riding up. Bastien, are you doing anything?
I'm creeping.
Creeping
like-
as you are.
Looking out of a window somewhere. Using obfuscate and auspex.
Okay. So there's enough time for your servants to tidy up the tower area. You can see that some of the serfs are still laboring in the distance, well into the night. The wagon arrives, and one of Micah's valets pulls open the carriage door. But the person who steps out is not who you might expect, Tereza. After you, my friend.
Thank you. And I'll step out.
Rainald steps back onto the top of the Tahuta Pass. And soon behind him, Micah Vikos is visible.
And here I thought you, abandoned us, Rainald. I hope your business was satisfactory. I was quite offended that you did not say goodbye to us.
Once the clan business is appropriately dealt with, I'll go into more detail about it later, but for the moment, it's not something that should be discussed. I do regret the sudden departure.
My child, it is a wonder to see you again.
My lord.
However, I've heard rumors that your construction is not going quite as planned.
No, we have had an issue with the workers and the foremen chasing out half of our force. They also complain that it is cold and that they want to eat their vegetables and harvest their food.
Yes, peasantry is somewhat vexing.
And apparently money can only buy so much.
Can you assemble the remainder of your coterie? I'd like to speak with you all. In private?
Of course. Bastien, I know you're listening somewhere. And Ponok, can you go find Alëna? You know she's in her wolf form somewhere. Go find her.
Polnareff will fly off, looking for Alëna.
Puts on the earrings, fluffs up his hair.
Crow, crow. Do-do-do-do-do-do. That's Crow's Bizarre Adventure. All right, so...
Oh my god. A side adventure is Crow.
Crow.
What will he tell us?
I'm gonna play a Kenku now.
And he
Right?
called Crow. Crowman Crowstar.
It's Crosif Crowstar, I'll have you know.
Oh, sorry, Crosif Crowstar. And his grandson Crotaro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why
I'll play
does-
your
why is that-
grandson.
Why
I'll
does
play
that-
your
I'm
grandson.
writing these down. One sec,
Yeah.
because I'll forget.
Yeah.
Croast.
It's going in the wiki. It's going in the wiki. All right.
Perfect.
In the bushes, where you've been watching this carriage ride up the hill, that bird flies nearby, landing on a tree branch out of your reach and paws down at you, Alëna.
Nah. I'll follow.
Okay. Where would you be having a private meeting between the five of you?
Probably, I would assume the
Down below?
park. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on if Alëna can go
Would be
down
willing
there.
to go down. Yeah.
Yeah. Where would be a part? I mean, it's nighttime, so we could just have a private meeting out somewhere in, like, the courtyard.
Sure.
Well, there's the church. Bastion will say, like, immediately kind of peering
You have a
for
chapel.
the group. Yes, and in woeful need of someone to attend it again. Rainald. Imagine people coming to confess to me.
Yes,
I
your
can't sleep.
absence.
The wild woman shit in my bed. Ugh.
Wait, what?
I would be fine with the chapel.
Our stew's terrible. Bastien stole all of our garlic. Ugh.
Now I think I know why all of our crew left.
They ran out of garlic trying to keep monsters out.
Well,
They should have known the monsters were inside the whole time. But
seems the flock has been led astray a little bit in my absence. Again, I apologize.
It kind of is all your fault.
yes, it really went downhill after you left.
But since we have an empty chapel and we wish for privacy, that would be the place to go.
Very well. Shall we?
After you, my lord.
I'm afraid I don't know where this is. Please lead me.
I will lead the way.
You head inside. The stone walls surround you. There's even a little bit of a bloodstain on the ground still, only detectable to your kindred senses, canine senses in this era. And as you are all inside, Vikos will appraise the situation. This is a good structure. Once it's completed, the roof is on, and yes, this will be quite lovely. I imagine nothing less of Zelios's designs. I'll be blunt. I'm on my way back to Constantinople, but I wanted to check in and make sure that my child was in good hands and that this project was coming well. As much as I care for the success of each of you, it is our patron who holds each of your sires or caretakers' debts in his palm. And he would be well within his right to call for destruction should you dishonor your sires or caretakers. Which is not what I'd like to see. I would like to have allies here. I would like to have more allies that could help protect my passage to and from Constantinople. Just allies in general. Having Canaanites here would be very beneficial. So, I have already spoken with Rainald about this, but I'm willing to offer my support to you. I can offer any funds that you may need to jumpstart the construction here further. To convince the workers that their turnips are not nearly as good as silver. I'm happy to do so, to get this constructed in time for winter. In return, I ask you for a single favor, and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out an ornate ring, half of a ring, winding in the Byzantine style, neatly snapped in half. It is obviously part of a greater whole. one that would be very, very difficult to replicate. What I offer you is this. Everything you need to complete this structure. In return, you will take this ring, half of it. I will keep the other half. If at any time, should I need your help, I need only bring my half, or send one of my agents with it, and you will comply. All I ask is for your solemn promise to do whatever I ask, should I need it, so long as it is within your power to do so.
Help
Rainald,
us avoid destruction, and then do whatever you say. Whatever you
Once.
say might be something bad, but also we don't get destroyed.
I do not think that Lord Vikos would particularly waste allies on something frivolous or dangerous, or at least outright deadly. That would not be a prudent use of resources.
nor friends. There's a lot more we could do for each other over the centuries to come.
I feel, at the very least, I am already indebted to you. In a way, you've saved my life twice now.
I am being this formal. Those of you who were not raised in vaunted halls of nobility. He turns away from Tereza at this point, assuming that she gets the gist of this, so that it is a clear contract between us.
Alëna will just yawn in wolf form.
Agreed. As tedious as it is, I would like to have our agreement on the table, rather than some nebulous assumption. Something concrete. Do you accept?
I do.
If you can somehow help us get our meet our deadlines, of course.
And Alëna. I'll settle for a wag of the tail.
She barely twitches her tail. She doesn't care about this deal, but apparently the others do, so.
Very well. Then, Tereza, you have your hands full already. Would you mind if I left this with Rainald?
Of course not.
We've bonded over our journey together. And he'll step forward and place in your hand half of a twisted gold band set with a carved ruby. It is part of a twinned ruby set. A very difficult thing to copy indeed. He closes your fingers around it.
Look forward to a mutual beneficial partnership.
Of course. That said, it is a shame that this chapel isn't complete yet. If you'd like, I can have some of my men do some of the digging. There obviously must be some type of catacombs or some type of mausoleum at the very least to hold the dead here. Somewhere cool where bodies won't rot would be very useful for you.
Wonderful.
Good.
Oh, because we're
You are? Yes. And excellent. Then we're agreed. Tereza, how have your studies been going? And from there, everything goes out of formality. The conversations are much more casual. Vikos has his men stay, and he stays with you for 3 nights, offering you food and help. And sure enough, with some money greasing the wheels and some of his social skills, miraculously, like a miracle, the slowdown ends inside of what seems like a night. Some of the men from local towns even return. And now, the worker's speed seems to double with this extra incentive. And with winter on the horizon, the chapel is complete, as is the first level of the fortress. Before the first snow even thinks about landing on the pass, your mission will be complete. He bids you adieu, as well as instructs Tereza in any little details that she may need to know about the clan or about certain abilities. And then says that he will return on the appointed day to inspect the completion of the tower, along with Merkea and the others. Before he goes, though, he says something that catches Tereza a bit off guard, perhaps. When the time is right, my child, when the time comes, I'll be representing Rainald as well as you. His sire has been taken away on business, as far as I understand, and he will need someone to oversee him. I have offered to foster him.
Rainald, you must have had a very good bonding trip up. Be careful, I might get jealous.
You have
you'll
nothing
be
to fear.
stepchild there? Is that the term? Is that a term? It is now.
The rest of the months after he departs pass quickly. You will find that the tower is built with exceptional speed, and soon you will find yourselves both in comfort and in, well, safety. There's much that needs to be done still, don't get me wrong, and it will take many, many, many years for the entirety of the fortress to be built. But you have some time. When winter comes, you will meet there in the main antechamber with your sires or caretakers. Merkea is there, his short-cut gray hair shining in the firelight. as well as Adrojai, who is giggling at everything. Vikos, good to his word, returns as well. Illuminata does not return, but she is busy, perhaps. I have to know, during this time, Rainald, would you have told people? Would you have told your companions?
Not yet.
Alëna at some point would check in with Rainald.
Oh,
But
same with
private.
Tereza. Yeah, Tereza would have privately also checked in with Rainald just because, like, what's been going on with the two of you? What is up?
Yeah.
You left for business. Alëna said you left on clan business, and suddenly your sire is away on business, and now my sire is looking after you. So Tereza definitely would have pressed Rainald, but if he would have said no, she would have backed off.
He
but she
would
would
have
have
tried
pressed.
to be evasive, sort of similar. It's just like, I will be very much willing to speak with you on the matters once the business is complete. However, currently, it is not, and it would jeopardize the matter if it were made public. Micah, Lord Vikos, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be so familiar with the man, has kindly assisted me, and I owe him a great debt, as do I to Alëna for her discretion and assistance as well. We perhaps after the tower is finished, I'll be able to discuss in more detail the matter. I would like to share it, but the time is not right.
Alyona's check-in is much more simplistic and more like, is it done? Whatever you were doing.
Not yet. There's a method that needs to be followed.
I will continue my silence.
Again,
So on
I owe
On
you.
that night, in November, when your sires arrive on the precipice of winter, it's obvious that they expect to be greeted and entertained. If you put Clara to work, she would easily be able to hire enough locals, enough women of both pure and impure blood, and others to enjoy that evening. And as you are greeting your guests, they all expect a bit of a tour. Lord Mircea Darzescu, most of all. He seems quite impressed with you as you show him around. I was worried that you would not be able to complete this. So many difficulties. The workmen around here. The harsh landscape. He smiles, running his hand along the stonework. But you have proved yourselves to be quite resourceful. Exactly the type of Canaanites we need in Transylvania. Meanwhile, over in the corner, Adrojai continuously bumps into Bastien. Hello, child. It's wonderful to see you again. Ah, apple of my eye, how are you doing?
Well, since we are off into a corner, I did have a question to.
Yes.
My sire, my high priest,
Yes.
my brother in Christ.
Do not lay these things upon me. I am none, and the above all at once, and let the never two be twain.
Can you help explain?
Oh. You woke up. Pooh. I was having so much fun making these off-kilter remarks, hoping that a couple 100 years down the line you
Yeah,
would
the
wake
last
and go,
5 years makes a lot of sense now. Sleep with one eye closed. Make sure to keep an eye or three open.
Plus the couple times I said you were adopted.
I thought that was you. It was you being funny.
It was me being very funny. I'm hilarious. But this is not a joke. You need to keep that fucking eye shut. I made a promise.
So
And if you know me,
my existence isn't the butt of the joke.
all existence is the butt of the joke. Take it from me, I deal with the Fae on a regular basis. You think they're not laughing at us? Especially when they catch us between their contractual obligations? No. No, all existence is a joke. Yours just happens to be a bit more unique.
Keep
A
it
crusader, a jester, and a salubri walk into a tavern. The tavern keeper says, "Can I get a drink for you gentlemen?" Gentleman. It's funny because they're all the same person. They're you.
Oh, thank you for explaining it to me.
It makes it funnier when I explain it, doesn't it?
The more you have to explain a joke, the funnier it becomes. I've heard.
I've heard your jokes, my child. I think that must be accurate because I don't understand most of them.
Oh, that's okay. I now understand that they're a little too highbrow for you.
The queerest thing about that eye is that it doesn't have a brow.
Oh, strange.
I would say that you look surprised, but I can't tell. Enough.
Would it be
cattiness.
weirder, or would it be less weird if it did have an eyebrow? Should I draw
Maybe your
an
entire
eyebrow?
hairline is your brow. What do you wish to know, Bastien?
An experiment to see how long I can live, or did you before I'm found and destroyed, or is there more to this than your boredom?
My boredom? Do you think I did this by choice? I owed a favor. And I took it very seriously.
Favor. This will get you destroyed.
They'll have to catch me first. Or perhaps they'll have to catch you first. I would recommend not being caught. You are the child of Athroja. Who would destroy you? You are just a little maniac.
Yes, who would bother poor Bastien, after all?
The one who made you asked me to help you forget.
Forget.
So yes, to forget him, to forget yourself. So I broke a piece of your mind off. If you
No,
want it
no,
back-
no. That was always broken.
No, not this part.
What?
I rewired bits of it, respooled it, like thread on a spindle.
Do I want to know, or was this never?
Your sire figured that the best way to hide would be to hide in plain sight. No pun intended this time, but you can see the urge to make it. The usurpers don't go looking for Malkavians. Yet.
Yet.
Who knows what they'll get up to as the years drag on. They've already eaten one clan. If you want to know who you are, you'll have to heal that particular wound yourself, I'm afraid. My methods are a bit indelicate. I'm a bit of a clumsy barber. My razor is sharp, but my hand does shake.
So you can't, or you won't?
I promised that I wouldn't. But also, I did break a few things in there, I think. Then again, you're the one who has the powers to heal the soul.
Well,
Physician?
promise-
Heal thyself.
With my insight and my new friend Tereza's steady hand, maybe we can manage on our own.
Perhaps. That said, if you come by in another 100 years or so and you're desperate enough, perhaps I can help you then. Perhaps not. Perhaps. I have all of the faith in you. I respect you, Bastien, as if you were my own son. I see so much of myself in you.
Well, perhaps before you... Are you staying any amount of time?
I will stay for a bit.
Can you teach me ways of continuing to play the poor idiot, but keep my enemies wary.
I would be honored to do so, my child. The rest of the group hears the Malkavians chuckle and a chill runs up your spine. Somewhere, something bad is about to happen. Meanwhile, the first time that you have been inside of a building in God knows how long, Alëna, probably keeping very close by the door. Are you in human form or are you in wolf form?
I am in human form here.
Valeska stands nearby. You can see that some of her limbs have become double-jointed. They move sinuously beneath the folds of her clothing like a bipedal wolf. You've done a ritual here. I can smell it on the air. You have erected a shrine to Valas.
I have.
Good. I've seen that there is a church on the grounds.
Yes, but I have consecrated it with priest's blood.
Good. You have done well here. You have done very well.
You should know. Tereza, the Tmitzi here,
Yes.
has shown interest in Veles.
Has she?
I have been teaching her some of what I know. The basics, at least.
This will be very fortunate then. I have a feeling you will be allied with her for quite some time. That said, I believe that you're due a reward for your endeavors. My associates and I believe that you should be rewarded with your own hunting grounds. Perhaps Mitru will disagree. But the Siebenbergen, the 7 towns, the Siebenbergen do not have princes enough to fill each one. And so, I would like to offer you your own fiefdom.
What would that entail?
You would be the prince of your own domain. As Mitru is to Klausenberg, you would be to one of the towns of the Siebenbergen. Although there are others in the outlying areas that may be more to your liking. Less profitable, but more associated with the wilderness.
I have no real need for profit.
Then perhaps Timisoara, Deva, Tirgomures, or perhaps Oradea. will be to your liking. All of these towns require the strength of character and violence that you can provide to them.
That I can do.
Good. Then it shall be rewarded to you. And a celebration. Please. She holds out her arm. Drink. To seal our pact.
Yeah, she will.
Okay. You are 1 point bloodbound to Valeska as you drink her blood. It is sweet. Delicious. In the corner, when the giggling stops, Bastien, Adrojai turns and says, "It seems that they've already gotten to the point, my child. You're being rewarded for all of your hard work here. Prince Bastien." The fools look to install puppet Canaanites over these towns of the Siebenbergen. You too will have one. But first of all, here, drink my blood. He thrusts a wrist out to you.
I thought you'd never ask.
Of course. Just a little insurance policy. Since I'm keeping your secret.
More than just keeping a secret, I would say. All right, I suppose I can give your... They say that you're Fey tainted. I'm not sure what that means. Are they afraid of you, or they look down on you because you hold positions of power?
Why not both? It means they don't know what to do with me, child. But wait till they get a load of you.
Now, do as he says.
Okay. You are 1 point bloodbound to Adrojai. And in the corner, Vikos pulls Tereza aside. I'm very, very impressed with what you've done here, my child.
Thank you, my lord.
There is a gift that is being given to you. You were to be made a prince of one of the fiefdoms. There are 3 major towns to be split between you and your companions, should they show proper respect. Belgrade is a medium-sized city near Kronstadt. It has an impressive library and has a fortress designed by Zelios. Schasberg is along the Muris River to the east. And then, of course, there's Kronstadt to the north of the Bran Pass. It's a chief trade route, as you know, and is a thriving center guarded by Bran Castle, where the Teutonic Knights make their home. There are some others as well, to supplement anyone who does not accept such an offer. Which would you like?
Can I make a...
Intelligence and politics roll?
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Sweet. I'm gonna spend a willpower on that.
Please do.
Intelligence and willpower. What is my... Or intelligence and politics. What is my... my... I can't say words
Difficulty
right
is
now,
7.
Kelly. Thank you.
No
I
worries.
can't say words. All right. That is
So you
going
got one
to
with willpower.
be... Yep. That is going to be 3 successes.
3 successes. Schasberg is fine. It's not particularly useful at this point. It's along a river in eastern Transylvania and has that benefit. However, the two that are speaking to you the most are Kronstadt, which is, of course, along a major trade route. It's got Teutonic Knights to protect it. It is... It's... If you want money, that is where you would go.
Okay.
If you want knowledge, Belgrade. It has knowledge and safety. It includes, it probably has one of the oldest libraries in Transylvania, and is perfect for anybody who wants to have that type of knowledge. Besides that, there is a third option as well, and it is a longer game, and that is you could petition Merkea to make this your domain. Controlling the Tehuta Pass itself. It wouldn't be immediately as beneficial, but depending on how you would have more control over its development, but you wouldn't be starting with anything. And I'm not saying that the module, that the adventure encourages you to do this one way or another. They all have their benefits. This is a fixer-upper. Whereas the others, you're going to hit the ground running right away, but you'll have less control of like what they've developed like and maybe some pre-existing drama that is there. So do you want to take a few minutes to think about this?
Yeah, I'll take a few minutes to think about it.
Sounds good.
I think honestly it's between Tereza is between Kronstadt and the Tehuta Pass.
Okay.
That's kind of where I am, kind of between right now.
I will say look up Kronstadt. So it's Kronstadt. Kronstadt. Look it up real quick, and it's a pretty great location. You'd know that with your roll. Meanwhile, across the hall, Merkea is looking around with Rainald. Father Rainald, I'm saddened that Iseta Illuminata could not join us. But I must say, I am very encouraged by the work you have done here. You have even managed to bring a bit of order with your religion.
The soul yearns for that divine order. It's merely providing an outlet for it.
Of course. A man of your talents should not be wasted. Dare I say that Gazetta Illuminata is... not worth the blood that she put in you. I see your star rising to greater heights. I would like to have you here as an ally. As such, given your great works here, I would like to reward you with a fiefdom of your own. Perhaps Belgrade or Schasberg. One that you could reign over as prince or bishop, if you were.
It is... Though it is a tempting proposition, somehow I feel that I am but a servant of God. And this...
Then allow me to impress upon you. Without your presence at the head of each of these cities, it is only a time before magi or lupines or something else seizes control of them, brings in heretical religions, savage monsters, or worse.
If I may,
This... Yes?
what better place to fight those things than right here, stopping them from entering in the first place, providing an outlet for those to go on. This chapel has been not just a work of physical labor, but of the soul. It's... I feel like
You
this
would
is...
give up princedom to be the regent of this fortress.
to do what I may with this, and to have an ally in what could become quite a profitable trade route. And perhaps somebody who is an ally to you and not directly related or tied to you close by, others nearby, could be beneficial for everyone, especially when it comes to keeping out the usurpers. And my clan does also share quite a distaste for the Ventrue as well. Perhaps that request is out of line, and I apologize, but it's where I feel I belong.
No. No, it is good for a man to know where he belongs. It would be good to have an agent here that I can trust. In that case, I accept your offer. I ask only that you treat this place well, that you guide it and protect it. And that you partake of a sacrament to bind yourself to this place. And he will offer you his arm.
Oh, crap.
What would you like to do? You could try to, do you try to weasel your way out of this? You could accept a 1-point blood bond. The thing is that in the future, blood bonds are far bigger of a deal than they are in the Dark Ages. Well, they're still a big deal back then, but they're so common that it's not as big of a deal.
But it's also just trading one master for another.
That's a vampire.
Yeah.
Well,
Until he can become blood bonded to Jesus, nothing else will do.
it's, you know what?
Suck on the teat of Jesus.
Is that not what the what is it? When
Blood
they
of
do the
Christ.
wine in church.
Yeah, the blood of Christ. Yeah, that's true.
It worked
He is
out-
blood
all I
bond to
gotta say is
Christ.
all I gotta say is it worked out real well for my sire. So, you know, Rainald will pause and look at it, his arm. He'll do it.
Okay. And he will lift you up when you are done, and with his strong arms will pat you on both of yours and say, I will ensure that you have everything you need to make this fortress succeed, my friend. Over at Vikos. So what do you think?
I think you know what I was promised. And I think you've known what I want to be. And I think that needs the finer things in life.
Everything you deserve.
Trade is everything. I will happily accept your gracious offer of Kronstadt.
Then, child, kneel. And drink of me. Reinforce the bond of sire and child.
She will drink.
Okay. You are 1 point blood bound.
arm.
Okay.
Yay! Fun times.
Now rise, Tereza, Prince of Kronstadt. Over in the corner, the Malkavians giggle. You have a little bit on your chin. Adrajai smiles at you. I'm thinking, from what I hear over there, you deserve Belgrade. It has a luscious library in it. Bastion of Belgrade.
Has a good ring to it.
As it does. It does. Oh, and by the way, he calls over to where Alëna and Valeska are standing. Might I encourage you to, instead of sending her out into Deva or one of the boonies, perhaps Schasberg? It's still rural, but it's going to be... I just have good feelings about it. I would not distrust his premonitions. Would Schasberg be to your liking, Alëna?
Do I know anything about that area since I'm kind of from around here-ish?
Make me an int and politics, or int and what do you think would be accurate for that?
Yeah, what's
I mean, honestly,
geography?
probably int and politics, but
I was gonna say, I think Schasberg was kind of near where I put
That's where it's
Tereza
at.
growing up.
Yep, Schasberg is the very south of Transylvania. Like it's so it's on the eastern side of Transylvania next to the Miaras River. And let me just see what it is known for in this day and age. It is full of German craftsmen, known as the Transylvanian Saxons. They were settled there by the King of Hungary to settle and defend the frontier realm and improve the region's economy. It is built on...
how she wants to figure this out.
Okay.
Because she doesn't care about most of that stuff. Can I do an intelligence and survival check to know the
Mhm.
general like land formations? And stuff?
The geology,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
what I was
geography?
going to suggest. Yeah, geography.
All right. So in that case, yeah, go ahead, make me that roll. Do it at a difficulty of. Did you come from that region?
I've most recently come from near Klausenberg.
So do it at difficulty 7.
Okay. 2.
So I will say that even looking at photos taken from 2000,
Mhm.
it is heavily forested there.
Okay.
It has a river. It has enough people to feed off of, but they're more rural people. It's like more like a union town than anything, and it's a frontier town. So you would have people if you needed them.
Okay.
Whereas with the others, there are other fiefdoms that you could use, and you can change it if you decide later to do so. You could take Timisoara, Deva, Tirgomurez, or Oradea as well as fiefdoms, but I know next to nothing about these places because
Fair.
I doubt history remembers. But let me just put it this way. History will remember Schasberg, Kronstadt, and Balgrad.
Mhm.
Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Then you may have it, Alëna, Prince of Schasberg. She has decided, as has he, as she has. Yes, they've all decided. Then let us toast to the beginning of a united Transylvania. With these 3 princes and a defender of the realm. And Mircea Zardescu raises a goblet of fresh, tapped blood. I can't wait to see what is in store for each of you. I sense great things in your future. And as he smiles, the camera will fade out on this act of the Transylvania Chronicles. You guys did it! You are now princes!
Yay!
Woo! Royalty! You are the
royalty.
presence of royalty.
Does anybody know what Schasberg is famous for? Did you just Google
No.
it, Jen? Someone
Not
was born there.
Oh, yeah. I just saw it.
You just saw it. Let's just say that that a dragon will rise out of that town someday.
Oh!
A bunch of neonates being turned into princes? That can't possibly be some sort of a political move.
It totally can't. Well, and honestly, at this point, it is to keep a lot of like the Tremere out or the Ventrue out. It is just basically to be like, hey, someone's watching this place, right? And it's to keep the lupines out because fuck
Can't
the
sneak
lupines.
in.
They can't sneak in if you're here.
Yep.
Right? I love it. I love it. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this session and this game so far.
Holy crap.
So what's going to happen is each of you take 6 experience points, 3 for the chat, 3 for me because you beat the chapter. You also will be taking I'm going to say 16 maturation points. Maturation points are going to be spent separately. And what we're going to do is next week, we're going to take next week's game off so that we can recover from extra life. And then the following week, we will have a blue booking, like an epilogue session, where we will catch up because we are going to jump ahead from 1198. We are going to 1314. So we're jumping ahead 120 years, or 116 years.
Oh, man.
So there are many things that will have to be done in the downtime. We will also be running you through your maturation XP. Well, maturation points. And then we will also be running you through your tables, where we're going to do it live on the air. We're going to spend the entire episode out of character, and we're going to be discussing what happened. It's going to be basically a blue booking session.
Nice.
So,
That
and
actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be pretty fun.
I'm glad we're taking next week off because then I'll have the brain power to deal with that.
Yeah, well, everybody needs to recover. But for example, I just want to give a quick example. So the way that this works is, this is what I was talking about during our session 0, about how you are going to be able to roll on backgrounds to see whether or not you raise or lower points.
Oh.
So, for example, for each 50 years that pass, so in this case, you get 2 backgrounds to focus on and roll on this table. And then for every 3 experience points that you have, you can roll on a second table. And then for 6 points, you can roll on 3. And so, for example, you could choose to roll on one you already have. So, for example, let's just say, Tereza, roll on resources.
Okay, what do I roll?
So roll me a d10.
All right.
So this is just an example.
4.
Okay, so you have a disaster during that 50 years. You lose a dot of of resources.
Oh, no.
So something financially bad happens. And then what we'll do is we'll look at some of the rationales and we'll figure out what happened. So that's incorporated into your backstory, and that's incorporated into your story going forward. Whereas, let's say that Alëna, you might want points of herd. Seems like a good one. So roll me a d10.
Cool. I have 1 point already.
Nice.
And I rolled a 9.
So you gain 2 more dots of herd.
Damn.
So, yeah, and then we figure out, and some of the reasons are really cool, like herd, possible rationales, the growth of a guild, the cure for a disease that threatened a human or animal flock. Zelios has created a secret room for you in a noble's castle that you can hide in until you drink his people. Like, and there's so many cute things. So we should totally customize this region to fit you. I also want you to do some research on the area that you are going to be living in, just basic, so that you kind of understand, like, ooh, what's going on there? What type of people are they? You know, Wikipedia stuff is fine. If you want to go deeper, that's your prerogative. Okay. But we'll be doing that in 2 weeks. And then in 3 weeks, we will be jumping back into the story in 1314 with... I believe the next chapter is called Dark Tides Cresting. As things start to get...
Rising.
Dark Tides Cresting, and then Dark Tides Falling is the last one of this one.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, we don't like
That's
that
the-
one.
No,
yeah,
let's
you do.
skip that one. So Kelly, real quick question, because we're kind of ending a bit. So the thing that I was talking about that Tereza's plan was, did that happen during this like period?
You, with the dad?
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely could have that happen. And
Sweet.
remember, if you feed him blood points,
Oh, I know.
he lasts forever.
I know. I have that. So Tereza did that. Yeah.
So I'd also like you to take an approximation, take a look into, there are a couple more things that I want you to consider. You are the prince of your domain, which means you are the eldest of that domain. In your fiefdom, your word is law. This also means 2 things you need to consider. I want you to go through the NPC list, and I want you to choose any NPC that you are keeping as a ghoul, or at least, that you are keeping alive for the next 100 years. And I want you to think about what type of evolution they're going to have. We can discuss this in 2 weeks as well, if you'd like to have it be a group thing. If we want to talk about, say, Alëna, how she develops. Do you let her mature into a woman, or do you keep her as this strange child forever? The other thing, it has been 100 years. Is anyone choosing to embrace? You very easily could. And if you, yeah, right, you have lots of options. So this is probably best that you take a couple weeks to think about things that we're doing for the next couple 100 years, or next 116.
Yeah, people don't live that long.
Quick
People,
question.
yes.
The maturation points, are those spent like regular experience points? Or
There's
So
a
the-
section. There's a section in the core, the Dark Ages core, under experience points that talks about maturation points.
okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
And I'll have to double check that it is the same between Transylvania Chronicles, because obviously it's like the 15 years difference of editions. But the way it is in Transylvania Chronicles, they cost basically the same as XP. You can't mix them, and any you don't use vanish.
Oh, so we
So-
have to use them in
Wisely.
this next.
Yeah. And I picked 16 because odds are you can find something that fits that.
Even
So, for
numbers are
example,
easier.
and the numbers
Yeah.
are easier, and we are using the current rating as the rating that you have, which is funny because there's always such an argument about experience points. Even in this book right here, it says the way I always did XP. I sent it to our group as a chat earlier. We're raising something to a 5 cost 5 rather than 4, as it would in our current system that we're using. So you guys are actually getting away like crazy with this.
Getting away with meta.
You're getting away with, I mean, that's what you do.
Yep.
But I'm very excited for this. Have you guys had fun with this chapter?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
This has
Oh,
been
definitely.
fantastic.
Plus, this
Oh.
gives plenty of time for me and Rainald to talk about his snack.
Mm-hmm. Quick question, just
Yeah.
because I don't know how it would work, but because it's technically an option in the book for doing things like pooled backgrounds, including retainers, is if
Mhm.
like we're looking at the NPC list and yeah, maybe one of us has actually Googled them, and so that's why they're alive 100 years later. But
Mm.
if we want to make them better, maybe we could pool. Like I don't know how Kelly feels.
Yeah,
about that,
let's group think in the group chat.
I am
Mhm.
totally fine with pooling retainers, so long as everybody wants to. Obviously, people have different retainers. Like Dominic and Clara, they are Tereza's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Sherazina, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Have her on a rotating ghoul schedule so nobody blood bonds her fully. Yeah, sure, whatever.
It's great.
Or alternatively, have you considered that during this downtime, Rainald could come up and be like, hey, so I kind of have my sire in a box, and Tereza could go, huh, that's funny. You know, we've got Sherazina right here. I could just make her look like your sire and we could embrace her.
Bruh.
Bruh. That's a fucking
just thought of
smart idea. That's a fucking smart, big brain idea right
Amazing.
there.
Even bigger brain. I get obfuscate 3 and I just pretend to be Rainald's
You just
sire
wanna wear a
from here on
dress.
out. I just
Except
want to dress as a nun. What can I say?
That also involves
Bastion's Bugs Bunny.
Bastion acting in that way.
Oh my god.
True psychological warfare.
Just being Bugs Bunny. All right. So that said, with this time jump, there is no need to change your costumes, really. As we discussed, 100 years in this era
Maybe-
is not...
Maybe clean my rags once or twice.
Yeah.
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 You should probably wash your costumes in real life. Maybe a little bit.
What?
But like there's... Yeah, I know, right? There's no real reason to... I always put on deodorant before I put on my costume, even if I already worn it for the day. But in this book, then we go up to 1413. So another 100-year jump. I think that after this book, there probably will be 3 costume changes for the chronicle. Probably like 1 for each book, and then an extra one. Oh, probably 5 actually, because 1 for each book, and then 1 for the Victorian era, and then 1 for the modern,
Yeah. Yeah.
or
yeah,
I guess
yeah.
the 90s at least. So be prepared to dress like you're from X-Men 97. Everybody dresses like Gambit with the cut-off shirt
Oh, I'm gonna
Perfect.
wait.
That
We
was
have some
Rainald.
time, so I
That's
could get
what I was gonna do
abs.
with Rainald.
Yeah, you have time to get abs. We're not going to be in the
I have
modern
time
era
to
for
get
a
abs.
year and a half.
Gambit and X-Men
Kelly,
'97.
Yeah. What's up?
I was just wondering, because I've been trying to degrade my character for the past like 4 episodes. I haven't rolled the humanity thing yet. Would the thing I did count against for a humanity roll there?
If you do the thing that you were working on, absolutely.
Uh-huh. Okay, perfect.
Just a
Absolutely.
little crime against humanity.
I
That's
also
fine.
would say that Rainald, did I make you do a humanity roll for what you're planning?
Not yet.
Then I would like you to,
Okay. Yeah, I think
because
there's some
imprisonment and
automatic-
torture is probably. So go ahead and give me that at a difficulty of say 8.
I can't wait to snoop around.
For
and
for me
find-
too, or am I different?
For you, it's going to be at a difficulty of 8.
Okay.
Yeah,
One
I'm
success.
basically.
Sweet.
You got a
failed.
success? Well, you don't feel good about it, but also screw her. And you failed? All right, Tereza, you
I
failed.
failed. I have now taken down both of my virtues that I need to take down. We're now just gonna eat away at my
Nice.
humanity, baby.
Okay,
Nice.
that sounds
Because
great.
it's
Hey,
1 and 1, right? You have to get down to.
It's you have
Yeah.
1 and 1.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
So I have
down.
a lot of
When you're swapping, yeah.
And-
time to sneak around and snoop my friend's secrets.
It's true.
Sounds
Hey,
like.
stay away from my box. My box is off limits.
I'm finding out what's in that.
No.
So, besides that, yeah, we should have a lot of fun. I'll see if there's ways to affect your humanity during the downtime too, because you actually can use maturation points to buy up virtues, including replacement virtues.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah. So we'll be able to discuss that. I don't think there was anything immediately in the book that talked about humanity over that time, but it kind of seems weird that 100 years would pass without the chance to do that.
Especially with the way some of us have been going.
You're right.
Ah,
The
what?
sinners.
Right.
No, we're
The
gonna take
sinners of
100
the
year
group.
break. Gonna take
Yeah.
100 year
You
break.
dirty sinners.
It's fine.
Dirty sinners. All right. So, folks, that is going to be it for us tonight here on the Transylvania Chronicles. We will be back in 2 weeks with our epilogue session. So be sure to come back for that. A big thank you to everybody who supports us, starting with Bookwyrm Games. You guys are amazing. Hopefully we are going to have some wonderful D10 sets and some D&D dice available with Dorktale stuff coming through them. So be sure to keep your eyes open for that. Huge thank you as well to all of our patrons at patreon.com/dorktales. Patreon really keeps everything going here. It's the reason that I'm able to do this full time. So if you want to keep the channel going, if you want to get extra perks, go to Patreon. Join the likes of our divine producers like my mom and Kelowna Curd. You also will be able to join the likes of our demonic producers like Precarious and Mysterium MK, our wizards of the Patreon, but not Tremors, the Tammy the Forever Cleric, the Ink Goblin and Sorcerer Sanguine, and our High Council of the Patreon, formerly known as the Primogen Council, is Taryn, Dustin, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Ella Death, Larouk, Mike Baxter, Iridian, and Brian Kaler. And with that, thanks for being with us here for Act 1 of the Transylvania Chronicles. I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been a lot of fun. And we'll see you next time. Blah.
Blah.